Welcome to another video lesson from the Jelly Roll Club. In order to make these blocks using the machine applique method, you will need small scissors, a pencil, a sewing machine with a narrow zigzag or blanket stitch, thread in a variety of colors, fusible web, I use Pellon 805, and a household iron. To complete the gnome triplets, you will first need the pattern. The pattern set includes a cover image, the first page that has a medium heart, beard one, and a couple of hats, the second pattern page which includes a smaller heart, 2 beards, and a hat, and finally the last page which contains the 3 hearts. Step 1 is to check that I have enough fusible to complete this project so I can trace all of my pattern pieces. I never store a bunch of fusible because it can get old and stop working. A light box is helpful when tracing your fusible, but it's not necessary. I've made these drawings dark enough that you don't need a light box to trace the images. I normally trace my figures with just a regular mechanical pencil rather than ink or a Sharpie because that ensures that I don't get any transfer of ink onto my fabric, and I can reuse my patterns lots of times this way. If you notice, some of the images are nested inside the other parts. The reason I do this is to help you save money and not use as much fusible. Be sure to trace all the parts on the pattern as all of the pieces are used. And be careful with the little pieces. Sometimes I lose them in my sewing room and I have to trace them a second time. I hate when that happens. Tracing and cutting the pattern pieces can be very relaxing. I really enjoy it, but sometimes I wish I had a tracing fairy. In video lesson 1, I explained how I cut out the centers of my fusible to make my finished product a lot softer. Cutting out the centers is my favorite method for using fusible interfacing. It just leaves a nice finished product. Well, I'm almost done, so I guess it's time to get the rest of these pieces cleaned up so that I can fuse them onto the back of the fabric. After ironing my fusible web to the back of my fabric, I cut out all of my pieces and I arranged them before removing the fusible web and pressing them down onto the background. All of the gnome pieces are interchangeable, so you don't have to worry about having a gnome that looks exactly like the example. You can change your gnomes and decide how you want your gnome to look. Once you're satisfied with how your gnomes look, go ahead and cut a background piece for the table runner that is 12 inches by 18 inches. Begin by laying out your background fabric and folding it in fourths so that you can find the center of the background. Starting with the middle gnome, lay out the beard so that all of your design elements are centered onto the background before you fuse anything down. I use the fold lines as a reference point to help me align the gnomes that go on the left and the right. Watch those little tiny pieces. Sometimes a little piece gets lost in your sewing room. In this case, I lost a shoe. Thankfully, I found it and I didn't have to make it again. After I place my applique where I want it to be on the background, I always mark some registration marks with a number 2 pencil. I use a number 2 pencil because it's easy to erase and it does not leave marks or stains on my background fabric in case I need to move my applique pieces. After I fuse the large pieces onto the background, I then fuse the smaller details, like the hearts and the hands. After I finished fusing all of my parts, I added a 3.5-inch border to this project. You will see this project later because I'm redoing my videos for free motion quilting, so this project will get quilted at a later date. Okay, that's all for now, friends. If you like what you see, please like and subscribe to our channel, and don't forget to ring the bell so you never miss a thing from the Jelly Roll Club. Happy Valentine's Day!